If you're watching this video right now, you are so lucky because there's something transpiring within the next 3 days. We have a full moon in Gemini, and this one is the last full moon of 2025. It also happens to be a super moon, so this is a very significant 3-day period where we're going to shift timelines. And that's the great thing about Gemini, is this duality between two different personas, two different identities. And I feel like this full moon is illuminating all the progress you've made this year and who you've evolved into. So you're completely transitioning from this one timeline into another over the next 3 days. And you're going to become the person who is going to cash the checks in 2026. Let's just put it that way. This is someone, a brand new identity that you are stepping into. What do the cards have to say about this? Something significant is going to happen. All right. Yes, we definitely see this like transition between being a beginner at the start of 2025 or feeling like a beginner at the start of 2025. And over the course of the year, you've learned so much that you've almost become a master of everything. And this year isn't just the only year where you've learned so much. I feel like the last 4 years, you've been really studying hard about manifestation, law of attraction, building your skill set, knowing how to alchemize rock bottom into something magnificent, because you've been through the ringer the last 4 years. I could feel it. And yet you're so much better because of it. You're stronger because of it. And you've reached this point of like mastery because you've realized that really nothing can touch you, that you've been through it, and yet you've come out alive and you figured it out every single day up until this point. Yes, there's like karmic retribution is being paid. Judgment is here. Judgment day is here, where you have to face yourself, because this is what this supermoon is all about, is illumination, because of how bright it is. It's casting light on all these shadows that you've worked on over the last year, that you've integrated. And now you appear before God and a judgment call is being made, almost like you're being tested. And you've passed the test. And this is what's allowing you to shift seamlessly into this new identity who's going to carry you through 2026. I think you're being laid bare at this point, and it's like a fresh start, like you're being reborn as a brand new person. Yeah, your heartbreak is over. Like, this has been a difficult last 3 years. There's a lot of loss in the last 3 years. Maybe someone or some people close to you have passed on, or you've lost people who were significant in your lives that you thought maybe you would be around forever. And for some reason, maybe you were ghosted by people. And there's just a lot of heartbreak and angst. I know you're very sensitive, and it's hard not to take these things personally, but it really isn't personal. I feel like every time we upgrade, we end up losing someone or something, because an old version of us needs to die for a new version to be reborn. And 2025 has gone through so much evolution because of this constant death and rebirth cycle you've been going through. And you're different from even who you were at the start of November, or even Halloween feels like a long time ago. But along the way, as you increase your frequency, you're going to lose people who are a mismatch to that frequency. So if there's things coming to an end, like friendships you've had for a long time or that were really deep and significant, and you've been cut off or ghosted, it's because you're on a different frequency. There's this disconnect happening, and it's not your fault. And some relationships might come back, and others have just had their time, and that's okay too. But the more we detach from this, the less anguish we have around it. And it makes us more appreciative of the time that we do have with people and things and time frames in our life. There's like this nostalgia that you miss, especially at Christmas time. There's this sense of like you wanting to go back to this version of you at a certain time, like the 90s is very nostalgic, and it's like you're homesick for a time period that you can't return to, or an age that you can't return to. But that's where your magic comes from, is that you can decide to make magic now and be the person who creates the magic going forward. So, for example, I lost my parents a few years ago, and I missed Christmas from when I was a kid, and it's now up to me to create that magic for my kids. And I feel so reinvigorated by that, knowing that I could create magic now, even if I miss the past. So I feel like you're just ready to move on, even if you're missing certain people. You know that you're onto something new here, and that's what you need to look forward to. Because you're going to be happy no matter what. You're going to meet the people who are meant to be in your life. Even if you miss the people who are leaving now or who have left, it just makes way for the new people to come into your life. And maybe this connection is even better. Maybe the people that are coming into your life get you more or understand you more, or you have an even stronger and deeper relationship with these new people than you did the people prior. And that says a lot, because you loved these people. They were maybe your childhood friends or friends you've had for like over a decade. You're going to have everything that you want. And it's going to be better than anything that's being left behind, because that stuff that is in the past and isn't coming with you is meant to be in the past. You don't live there anymore. You live in this new timeline now. And not everything could come with you, because you're ready to move on your journey, and you get to take the things that are worthwhile into this new timeline, that are allowable to go into the future. And I'm sorry that not everything can. And this journey has felt so slow, but it's been a long time in the making, and you finally have reached this shallow water where the water isn't so deep anymore or dark. You're getting closer to this shoreline. So things are going to get easier for you after this. Yeah, there's this change you're going through where this timeline shift is where you're going from survival into thriving. And this is going to restore your finances, where you won't be struggling anymore. You won't be living beyond your means anymore. I feel like you're going to this place where you're going to be saving quite a bit of money. Maybe you're moving to a cheaper country or a cheaper city, or even a cheaper like living place, like an apartment. You are literally moving on. What else do the cards have to say? Even if it doesn't seem like it, so much could change in December. Like, let God work his magic, especially because Christmas is just so magical and miraculous. That, like, the term Christmas miracle is coming to my mind. Like, you're going to receive a Christmas miracle that's going to completely change your life in the next, like, 3 days. Or you're entering a timeline where this miracle is going to come in within the month, and it's going to completely shift life as you've known it up to this point. Yeah, you're waiting, but it's definitely over the next, like, 3-4 days that this change is going to happen. This news is coming in, and you're going to feel it in your spirit, how different you feel. You're going to feel lighter, like you're floating in air. And you won't feel so weighed down by like your worries anymore, or past tendencies, or self-sabotage, or even just like pressure. You're able to give more to God at this point and trust more in the universe, knowing that you don't have to carry so much weight. It's not your burden to carry. So that allows you to like ascend, because you're not being held back or held down by the things that you don't need to carry anymore, and that you can't carry with you anyway. Now you're being led into this timeline where you have so much more clarity. You're really tapped into like your purpose, and you realize that your purpose is just you being you and shining in your authenticity. And this supermoon is illuminating that and giving even more glow to you, and your clarity and your psychic senses and your intuition is very enhanced at this time. And that's what's being guiding you lately, and why maybe you felt called to leave your comfort zone, or to pursue a different path that would take a lot of faith and a lot of strength, like a leap of faith. And this is confirmation that it's a good thing that you've made this decision. Now you're taking your exit at this time, being like you're feeling forced out. Like there's so many things that just aren't in alignment anymore, that don't even resonate. Like I feel like you can't even listen to music that you would have listened to a year ago. Like you're like, ew. You're just a completely different person. And I feel like this is the shift. This is definitely the shift. And you become the person who collects the checks. Yes, and I get that with the Three of Pentacles. Because you've really worked on yourself. Like you've almost sculpted yourself into this brand new person. And when you look back over the last year, you could feel and see the difference in yourself. When you look at pictures or videos from like January, you don't even look like the same person. You've been reforged and refined, and now you are purified and coming out as this brand new version of yourself. Yeah, this is literally happening overnight. Like as this moon cycle comes to an end, the next 3 days are going to feel very intense as you move into this brand new timeline. But your agony and suffering is going to be over. Like you don't have to worry anymore. And you're being watched. And not in a bad way. Like you're really being observed by the divine. Like you stand out. And maybe you've been feeling irritated lately or agitated. Maybe you've been restless and you've had insomnia the last few nights. Sometimes the full moon does that. That might be significant right now. You've been keeping things close to your chest. Definitely there's these big things brewing, and I don't want you to tell people what's coming next. Even if this good news comes in, don't tell anyone right away. Just let it settle, calm your nervous system, and play it really close to your chest right now. Be really picky about who you engage with, who you transfer energy with, because it's really important right now that you are mindful of your emotions and the energy that you give, especially during this full moon phase, that you don't go back to old previous tendencies, you don't self-sabotage, because there's a tendency to do that here, is what I'm getting. But the path ahead looks bright. Like you're going to enter this new timeline during this full moon. We have this with the Ace of Pentacles here, that this is happening during this full moon. You're entering this highest timeline, essentially. Almost like you've weaseled your way up there, and not in a bad connotation. Like this is you really working the universe and going through the loopholes, the wormholes, to find these like little timeline loops that you've been using to ascend, to graduate through, and you've reached the top unknowingly, and now you're emerging into this new land. This is what I'm getting. Like you really worked it. Like this is you. This is your doing, and just like getting a feeling of where you're going, and you've tapped into your intuition, which is what's been guiding you, and kind of like a GPS. And you've been feeling your way around the world, your reality, and what feels good and what doesn't feel good. And that's really prominent because you have to be so in tune with your body and your emotions and your thoughts. And I see that's the work you've done this year, which has allowed you to really tap into your senses and what's in alignment for you and what isn't in alignment. And you've reached this level of ascension that is threatening to people. But I want you to know that that's just them. Don't take anything personally. I mentioned that earlier. So that is just like confirmation to like keep things close to your chest, because people have a tendency to talk down on things, and unless people are like extremely supportive in your life or really close to you, don't mention what's going to happen just yet to people. Wait until the time is right. And I feel like divine timing is very important right now. So trust that flow of the universe and just go with it, knowing that you are entering your highest timeline as we go into 2026. And the universe is so supportive of that. And this is all part of like divine intervention and karmic retribution and judgment. So this is final. This is happening, and it is real. So claim this energy, put 333 in the comments. Let me know if this was helpful or if it resonated. I'd love to hear all your synchronicities. They're so beautiful and so mind-blowing, and I love them so much. I appreciate all the love and adoration that you people give me. Your words are so beautiful, and I'm so honored to deliver these messages to this beautiful community. So I appreciate any and all support. Like, subscribe, follow for more if you're not already. If you want a reading from me or a ritual, or you need some manifestation tools, I have my shop link in the description, as well as the pinned comments, including the decks that I use. Otherwise, I love you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.